Well, shalom, everyone. I wanted to talk to you about the gift of tongues, and I wanted to share my experience. So, when I speak in tongues, my spirit is connecting with God. And I once heard it said that you can't pray the wrong will of God. Let me put it this way. When you speak in tongues, you're praying the perfect will of God because the Spirit of God in you is praying and interceding, my spirit with His Spirit. So it's always a safe way to pray. And it builds me up. It builds up my spirit man, my spirit woman in there. So it was 1995. I got saved in 1992. And in the mornings, first thing I would do is I would intercede. I would pray for other people. I would bring my prayer requests before God. And something very unusual happened. I was praying words I didn't understand. These words were coming out of my mouth, and I said, God, if this is not of you, please take it away. And every morning I would go and intercede for others, and that's when the gift of tongues came to me. And every day, God, if this is not you, please take it away. And He never took it away. Okay, then I went to Russia, I went to Moscow, and I was involved with Hero Israel Ministries, and I was on the evangelism team. And we had to carry thousands of flyers in like a side satchel. It wasn't a backpack. And by the end of the day, I was out on the floor with my back. I had pulled my back out. And I was in my hotel room, and I was laying on my bed, on my belly. And the doorbell rang. And I had two other roommates, so someone got the door. And they were two women who came to our room to pray for me because the Spirit of God told them that there was someone there that they needed to come pray for who needed a healing. They sang in tongues over me, did not even touch me, did not even lay hands on me. And I was completely healed. They sang over me in tongues. I was completely healed. You see, when it happens to you, you no longer have contempt. If you had contempt, or you're no longer cynical. When it happens to you, it's a whole different story. And the Bible says, do not have contempt for prophecy. It says, test the spirits. But, and the gift of tongues. I mean, there's so many different gifts that we're given. And Paul said, I wish, people could pray. How does he say? We could pray and prophesy more than anyone, or something. I'm not quite sure how he said it, but these gifts are very, very important to build up and protect our hearts even as well. If I'm walking down the street and I sense someone is not a safe person, I can just sense it. Like that I might be in some kind of harm. If someone is just out of whack, I will start praying in the Spirit. It's just what happens naturally. And it's a protection for me. It's very, very powerful. But if you don't open your heart to the gifts of the Spirit, well, you'll never operate in the gifts of the Spirit. And I believe it's in Corinthians, it says, eagerly desire the gifts of the Spirit. We should want as many gifts as God has placed in there. And we need to feed them and cultivate them and let them grow. So just back to the Apostle Paul for a moment. I think he said, I wish that you could pray and prophesy. Or he said, I can pray and prophesy more than anyone. But he was talking about if you don't understand. He was talking about if someone is speaking in tongues in the church very loudly, and if there's nobody to interpret, then nobody knows what he's saying. But I'm talking about praying in tongues in your own prayer closet, or even with friends at a prayer meeting. But it's very, very important. It's very important. Amazing things come out of it. When you have to pray for somebody that you don't know, well, when you pray in tongues, you pray the perfect will of God. And if I'm praying over somebody in tongues that I don't even know, praying in tongues just goes zzz. It's like a magnifying glass. It quickly goes to the issue at hand. It just magnifies what needs to be prayed. It's an awesome gift. So don't have contempt for the gifts of the Spirit. They are for all of us children of God. Go in the grace of God in Yeshua's name.